Caitlin Clark is the only woman in basketball to ever sign with Wilson Basketball, and she's the only athlete since Michael Jordan to do so.
If we're comparing a Caitlin Clark signature shoe release to anybody not named Michael Jordan, anybody not named LeBron James, you're being extremely disingenuous.
Basketball fans, buckle up, because what just happened could seriously shake Nike's billion-dollar empire. We're talking about a major shift that has executives at Nike headquarters feeling the pressure. Picture this. You're the biggest sports brand on the planet, valued at over $200 billion, and you've just signed the next Michael Jordan of women's basketball. You've locked Caitlin Clark into an 8-year, $28 million deal, a contract many believe massively undervalues her true market impact. From Nike's perspective, it looks like the perfect setup, a once-in-a-generation star ready to generate revenue for years to come. Then out of nowhere, Wilson, yes, Wilson, drops a commercial so powerful and emotionally resonant that it sends shockwaves through the industry. The ad is so well executed, it's reportedly forcing Nike's entire marketing machine to rethink everything they thought they knew.
When you strip away the noise and the bright lights, it's just the game you loved as a kid.
Chant of defense by the Clark fans.
And here's the real twist. They didn't do it with shoes. They did it with basketballs. And somehow, the impact might be even bigger. Because what followed is shaping up to be Nike's worst-case scenario. Over the past few years, Nike hasn't just stumbled, it's collapsed. Since 2021, the company has lost more than $100 billion in market value. Things got so bad that public pressure mounted for the CEO to be removed, and eventually, John Donahoe stepped down, with Elliott Hill brought in to lead a massive turnaround effort. Meanwhile, Adidas was finding its footing again, even after cutting ties with the Yeezy brand, while Nike continued to drown in self-inflicted mistakes. The company is projected to report an 11.5% revenue decline to roughly $11 billion in Q3, according to data compiled by LSEG, marking its steepest drop since the 38% plunge in fiscal Q4 of 2020 during the pandemic. Under Hill, Nike launched an aggressive recovery plan. But Morningstar analyst David Schwartz made it clear, a couple of flashy new sneaker designs won't fix this. Nike doesn't need tweaks. It needs an entirely new product franchise, something capable of generating billions in long-term sales. And that kind of turnaround usually takes years. Then came what looked like their miracle solution, Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation talent who comes around maybe once every decade. In college, she was twice as recognizable as Angel Reese and 4 times more popular than the most recognizable men's player, numbers that are literally unheard of in college basketball history. When Clark turned pro, every major brand came calling. Under Armour wanted her as the face of the Curry brand. Adidas was ready to write a blank check. But she stayed with Nike, largely because of how they had built and marketed her image during college. Naturally, fans and analysts were waiting for the inevitable announcement. Caitlin Clark's signature shoe, the sneaker expected to redefine women's basketball. But then things took a wild turn. While the entire basketball world was waiting on Caitlin's shoe, Nike announced that Aya Wilson would receive her signature sneaker first. And buried deep in that announcement was a detail that should have every Nike shareholder furious. Nike revealed that Caitlin Clark's signature shoe wouldn't hit shelves until 2026, or possibly even 2027.
People were even speculating that. But today was the Nike quarterly call, putting to rest any rumors that A, this wasn't a done deal, and B, there are renegotiations at the table. Something that this did clear up as well, it's looking like Caitlin Clark's shoe was coming in 2026.
Are you serious right now? 2 to 3 years just to release a shoe? That's beyond ridiculous. Let's put this into perspective. Back in 2003, when LeBron James was coming out of high school, every major brand was fighting to sign him. Nike wanted him so badly that they began designing his signature shoe before he had even agreed to a deal. The project was kept under wraps with internal code names to avoid leaks. The urgency was real. LeBron didn't wait years. He debuted in the NBA wearing his signature sneakers almost immediately. From initial concept to his first game on an NBA floor, the timeline was measured in months, not years. Nike moved at lightning speed because they understood one thing clearly. When you have a generational athlete, you strike while the moment is hot. That's what makes this delay so hard to understand. Nike once proved it could move fast when the talent demanded it. And that's exactly why today's situation feels so unbelievable.
If we're comparing a Caitlin Clark signature shoe release to anybody not named Michael Jordan, anybody not named LeBron James, you're being extremely disingenuous. Extremely disingenuous. We can't compare abnormality to normal behaviors. We can't compare the extreme case, the rarest of the rare case, to an average Joe Schmo walking down the street singing do I did it dum diddy do. We can't be doing that. We only compare Clark to Jordan, Clark to James, Clark to Tiger, Clark to Gretzky, Clark to Ali. That's it.
So Nike went from a 3-month rollout to a 3-year wait. That alone tells you something is seriously off, and it's about to be exposed in the most awkward way possible. When Caitlin Clark signed her deal, major outlets immediately ran headlines questioning why people were upset that she was getting a signature shoe at all. The controversy centered on one argument. Some fans insisted Aya Wilson should receive her shoe first, since Clark hadn't even played a WNBA game yet. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Business isn't about fairness. It's about what sells. Allen Iverson sold more shoes than Tim Duncan, even though Duncan was widely considered the better overall player. Nike tried launching Tim Duncan signature shoes twice, and both times they were pulled because of weak sales. And Duncan understood that. He didn't take it personally, he knew how the business worked. But Aya Wilson isn't Tim Duncan. Nike is actively pushing her. She's on billboards and commercials and front and center in their marketing campaigns. And this is where things start getting really uncomfortable. Wilson has made comments that many people found controversial, particularly around white players and perceived privilege. When talking about Paige Bueckers, she suggested Bueckers' success was influenced by privilege, adding that she was good at basketball almost as an afterthought. And whether people agree or disagree with those comments, they've become part of the conversation, one that Nike now has to manage in real time.
It's black women. James reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say it's not really about me. And she knows how her privilege got her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball. Like, she understands her privilege and like, pushes her over the top in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you.
Caitlin Clark was left off the Team USA Olympic roster, with the official explanation being that she hadn't earned it yet. But that reasoning falls apart the moment you look at history. In 1992, Christian Lettner made the Olympic Dream Team without a single minute of NBA experience. In 2004, Diana Taurasi earned a spot on the U.S. Olympic team as a WNBA rookie, putting up numbers that were comparable to where Clark was at the same stage. Yet somehow, 20 years later, Caitlin Clark was deemed not ready. And then she did the unthinkable. She backed it all up on the court. Clark went on to dominate as a rookie, earning first-team All-WNBA honors, leading all rookies across multiple statistical categories, finishing fourth in MVP voting, and completely transforming the league's visibility. WNBA games featuring Caitlin Clark routinely averaged over 1 million viewers, while typical league games hover closer to 300,000. Her impact wasn't just noticeable, it was historic. In fact, a ticket to her first playoff game cost more than tickets to every other WNBA playoff game combined. So the idea that she hadn't earned it didn't just age poorly, it collapsed in real time.